Lucas could hear it the moment darkness fell. A scream, not the kind a human makes, but a shrill, echoing wail carried by the Arizona night wind. He and his family had just arrived at their new home. Lucas tried to convince himself it was nothing, maybe just exhaustion. But deep down, he knew this scream wasn't welcoming them. It was warning them. This house would never be theirs. Lucas, Jessica, Sara, and Taylor stepped out of their SUV and looked at the old house. It was cheap, which made Lucas think it was perfect for a fresh start. Jessica tried to smile. A little renovation and it'll be perfect. Sara was taking pictures, and Taylor noticed something move under the porch, but said nothing. Inside, the air felt unusually cold, like the house itself was breathing. Lucas checked the thermostat. Off. Jessica shrugged. Maybe the air has been trapped. But the unease in the house was more than air. It was presence. Sara went upstairs first to find her room. On the landing, she froze at a black stain on the wall. The paint looked scorched, burned by long fingernails. Taylor followed, pale-faced. They didn't normally react like this, but the stain was unnatural, as if it had life. Lucas instructed, "Let's set the base, then Sara and Taylor can decorate." Jessica went to the kitchen. The lights flickered twice, then stabilized. She dismissed it as bad wiring, but the gut feeling in all of them said otherwise. Sara kept her bed lamp on, scrolling on her phone. Every time she looked up, she felt a presence in the corner of the room. Taylor heard faint tapping from under his bed. Someone or something moving. He pulled the blanket over himself, eyes wide with fear. Around 2 a.m., Jessica awoke. Heavy footsteps echoed from somewhere in the house. Lucas assumed it was Sara, but the steps were too heavy. They weren't alone. Lucas cautiously approached the basement door. Moisture covered the handle, though pipes weren't leaking. Then the door slowly pushed from the inside. A guttural, almost whispering female voice murmured, "Let me out." Jessica screamed, "Don't open it!" Lucas didn't. No one slept that night. By morning, the basement door was wide open, even though no one had touched it. Muddy, oddly large footprints led from the basement into the living room. Not human. Longer fingers. Wrong dimensions. Lucas gently approached the basement. The footprints had spread to the living room. Fingers long and twisted. Lucas's heartbeat quickened. Sara grabbed Jessica's hand. "Dad, please do something." Lucas replied quietly, "We can't go down. Stay in the living room." Jessica shined her flashlight toward the basement. The beam caught only a shadow, tall, dark, with blurred, indistinct features. Taylor's breathing was shallow. Lucas ordered, "Don't look directly at it. Stay put." Then the scratching sound began, heavy, deliberate, like something was dragging on the floor. The shadow shifted along the doorway, moving unnaturally, sliding as if it had no feet. Lucas first thought it was an animal, but his eyes knew the truth. Shadow's fingers, long and crooked, were slowly creeping upward. Taylor panicked. "Dad, it's coming!" Lucas pulled him back. Jessica held both children tightly. Lucas tried to lead them toward the garage. The shadow appeared again, freezing for a second, then vanishing. They reached the SUV parked in the driveway. Lucas tried to start it, but the engine hesitated. A low growl echoed from somewhere beneath. The headlights flickered, revealing a tall, thin figure standing in the middle of the driveway. Hollow eyes, no face, limbs impossibly long. Lucas reversed sharply. The figure blurred in the headlights, then disappeared into the darkness. He twisted the wheel, taking a narrow side trail to escape. The SUV slid over rocks and bushes. From behind came a horrifying scream, part human, part animal, tearing into the night.
Finally, the SUV hit the main road. The creature hadn't vanished entirely. It had merely paused. The family's hearts raced as they drove, silent except for their breaths.
Later, Lucas, Jessica, Sara, and Taylor parked near a small-town police station. Trembling, Lucas explained to the officer, "There's something in that house, not human, dangerous." Sara and Taylor clung to their mother, pale and quiet. The officer's expression changed. "We'll check it, but be careful," he warned. That night at the hotel, every shadow felt alive. Sara noticed movement outside the window, a long, crooked silhouette, watching. Lucas drew the blinds. Jessica held the children tightly. Lucas remembered the SUV incident. The creature hadn't just followed, they had been tracked. At 2 a.m., the hotel lights flickered off. Emergency lights glowed red. Lucas grabbed a flashlight. In the hallway, a shadow flashed, elongated and impossible. The essence of the house seemed to have followed them, now alive in the hotel. Packing bags, Lucas tried the SUV. Engine stalled. Scratches appeared across the windshield, long, crooked finger marks. He push-started the vehicle, engine roaring. The highway revealed the figure once more, standing in the center of the road, directly in their path. Hollow eyes, distorted limbs. Lucas floored the gas. The figure moved closer, seemingly floating, then blurred in the headlights and vanished. The weight of its presence, however, remained. Taylor and Sara were frozen in terror. Jessica held them both. Driving finally into the city line, they parked. Outside, normal traffic passed. The creature was gone. Or had it ever really left? Sara's phone pinged, location updated, "You're home." The GPS pointed to the old Arizona house. Lucas dropped the phone. Jessica screamed. Taylor hid his face. Sara clutched her phone as shadows and noises flickered in her mind. The creature, the house itself, had become more than just walls and wood. It was a living nightmare, and it would follow anyone who dared step inside. Lucas gripped the steering wheel, whispering, "We survived, but the nightmare is still out there." Jessica held the children close. Taylor nodded silently. Sara stared ahead, realizing the horror would never leave. The Arizona house remained a living, breathing nightmare, waiting for its next visitors, testing their fear and feeding off it. Lucas and his family had escaped with their lives, but the memory of that night and the shadow of the house would haunt them forever.